Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Nachide, Patricia, and Kurabie. Thank you for letting me know that you are here, and everybody who is watching me. Thank you very much. I really appreciate. I'm sorry yesterday I had a technical glitch, but I hope today I won't have any problem. I'm gonna be here for about 20 to 30 minutes because when we make it shorter videos, it makes it easier for people to see. So the news today, we are going to talk about NUP manifesto. We are fighting poverty, disease, and ignorance. If we can fight those three issues, we are going to fight radically off because we have worked very hard. We have worked our way to get where we are, and everybody now is coming after us. And that means we have got somewhere to say. So the news for today, our candidate for Guildhall Makerere, who is called Shamim Nambesha, was arrested and she hasn't been released. We demand for her release. The news concerning the topic I'm talking today is that Uganda is the third poorest country, and because of the poverty, every Ugandan has got to pay 1.5 million shillings towards our debt. And the news, Uganda is still borrowing above our income. We are borrowing money. We are borrowing too much. We are bad borrowers. There is nothing wrong to borrow, but can you pay back? How do you manage your debt? We have debts everywhere. So Uganda has got 18 billion US dollars as our debt, and our national income is only 19 trillion shillings, and our budget is 45 trillion. So that does not add up. And so far, Matia Kasaja has already told us that we have already spent half of our budget. So that is 22.5 billion. And the corruption, one of the reasons, is still at rampant. So it brings us to talk about poverty. When we talk about poverty, it's not a joke. So many people, they are in poverty. There is two types of poverty. There is relative and there is absolute. What we can see in Uganda, we have got below poverty level. We are not even at absolute. We are not even at relative. The difference between absolute and relative is like some children, they know they want Nike or Adidas, they want chocolate, they want Mazda. But other children, they don't know the difference. They say, I want the shoes. They don't mind whether it's Nike, whether it's Adidas. They don't have choice. When you are poor, you don't have choice. The beggar doesn't have any choice. Sometimes when you are poor, you can make bad decisions. We can see some of our people, they are making silly actions, silly decisions, because the poverty overrides the circumstances they are in. But however, there are people who are poor, but they still hold their values very high. They say, I will not do this because I believe in this. I will not take bribe because it's wrong. So poverty overrides. We are not going to be the same. We are all different. It doesn't mean that when somebody is rich and you're poor, you don't have an agreement. You can believe that we are going to fight a dictator. It's not the notion that so and so is well off, so you are poor, and there is no point of fighting a dictator. We have to fight a dictator. So perpetrators of why Uganda is so poor. Number one is Museveni. Has been in power for 36 years. 59 years we've been independent. So a third of our independence has been in power. He has never done anything to reduce, tackle, and eradicate poverty. Number two perpetrator is Matia Kasaja, the man who deals with our finance. He borrows money, he endorses everything. He endorsed the OTT, he signed the OTT without acknowledging that people, they are poor, they cannot afford. Matia Kasaja cannot give us accountability, how he spends our money, how our money is run, what is the accountability. So Matia Kasaja comes as number two. Then there is Janet Museveni. Janet Museveni is in charge of Ministry of Education. As we go along, I'm going to explain to you the solution for NUP is going to be education. When you are in charge of education, it gives people knowledge, empowers people to make sensible decisions, to know what is going, to have principles that this shouldn't be, to know what to do, that you cannot sign a check for Lubawa Hospital when you want. So education plays a part to fight poverty. So Janet being there, schools, they've been closed. We don't mind the lockdown, but children, they have missed on study. They haven't had access to study materials, anything, whereas the money is there. So I bring these people to you in order because each one has got a responsibility, a big role that they have played to make Uganda as poor as it is. Then we have got the public sector. Public sector, when you go on their website, they've got all these wages for everybody, but there is no job creation. There is no jobs being created. And even in education, they are responsible to create jobs. They haven't created jobs. And then we have agriculture, Minister of Agriculture. Is it Kasolo? Agriculture contributes to of our economy. So without agriculture, Uganda, we're gonna run into our debt. So when I'm talking about, I'm gonna be brief as much as I can. When I'm talking about poverty, I'm not making up. I look at Uganda UBOS, Uganda Statistics Bureau, and I look at the statistics there. Then I go to World Bank. That is where they go to borrow money and they give credible evidence. Then I go to UNICEF. UNICEF, they are the foot soldiers. When I went to UNICEF, what I found there was so alarming. One of the indicators that you can think about poverty, you look at clean water and clean sanitation. I was very, very embarrassed of Uganda that 10% of Ugandans, they don't use toilet. They just go in the bush. That is an indicator of poverty. Majority of Uganda, they don't have clean water. People, they drink water from the pool, from the dump with the animals. So when we talk about that we are going to fight poverty, we need to fight poverty because poverty affects all parts of your life. They affect, when there is poverty, poverty determines your career path, it determines your life, determines your health, it determines your life, how it can be, which way you are going to do. Can you afford to pay for this? Can you afford to do this? And mind-wise, people who are poor, they always mourning, they always snapping, they always what? And people who are poor, they are vulnerable to some social issues. You find them misusing or abusing drugs, being dependent on substance. So poverty goes further and further and further. When we talk about in Uganda, poverty has gone too far. We saw in the lockdown, people cooking skins of the goat, people like they are killing their children to sell off their meat, combined with the Nile patch. The poverty has gone beyond repairable damage. And that is what NUP is emphasizing, that we are going to fight the poverty because it goes wider, because so many people, they end up being prostitutes, not because that they want, that is the only way they can get an income. Uganda, we have got one of the highest unemployment. So this is why I'm telling perpetrators like Museveni, like Kasaja, like Janati, those in public sector, in agriculture, they have created poverty. When you talk about Salim Saleh that is creating wealth, you don't create wealth. How has he created wealth? They have created poverty. They haven't created wealth. You don't create. If they create wealth, I'm not going to work. As you can see for me now, I have to go to work. So if somebody can create for me wealth, I'm not going to work. Please help me out and create wealth for me. So that is this initiative that they come up with, that they are stealing money. You don't create. You don't create wealth. You like it or not. So even the survey for religious from a certain religion in Uganda, it found out that people, they were earning $500,000 as annual income. What can you do with that money? So poverty, because of time, I won't go into details. Poverty is on the largest scale. It is below poverty level. They promised us to get to middle income. We will never get there. Museveni said the economy is going to grow in January. It cannot grow in January when people, they are poor. We need long-term solutions. This is why NUP is saying they are going to fight. Poverty is very big. Then NUP says we are going to fight diseases. Fellow Ugandans, these are the indicators. 19 women, they die every day. Children, 33, they die of diarrhea, drinking poor water. But 330 children, they die every day. 21 people, they die through brutality by the security. So the indicator is that these are all avoidable diseases, avoidable killers. So when we look at this is why NUP is saying that we are going to fight poverty and disease and ignorance. Because when you fight all these avoidable diseases, people, they're going to be healthy. People, they're going to be normal. Everybody deserves to live. Every Ugandan life deserves. It matters. Whoever would be a prime minister, if you don't save them, it's a national loss. But what we have for now, NRM, they don't care. They don't put this word. When they look at poverty, they're giving it to international to come and help people in poverty. But what we see so much that they have played a big part to make Uganda poor so that they can stay in power. But unfortunately, it has come to catch up with them. So when we talk about diseases, there is communicable diseases. There is water diseases like diarrhea. These, they shouldn't be people. So NUP, that is why we say we are going to fight poverty and disease. Because these things, you fight them, you are making Uganda a better place. You are making Ugandans better and better. So number 3, ignorance. Number 3, when people, they are ignorant. Some people, they are ignorant because they have never had any chance to access any sort of education or training. Some people, they are ignorant because their brain is empty. Some people, they are ignorant, they had access to information, but they are thinking something else. Numbers cause them idiot fools. So some people, it's because of ego. They won't do. They want to. So ignorance. People, they don't have access to information. The problem we have that when we are talking to people, they need to understand. So ignorance. This is why NUP is saying that we are going to fight poverty, disease, and ignorance. So they are big because they play a big part. So many people, you come here and ask yourself, why people are not going to street? What people can they say? But people, they are poor. They are looking for their meal. So that is where their heart is. So fight that one. And then you say, they are not coming. People, they have got diseases, all sorts of diseases. When you see people who live in poverty, all the time they feel pain, I feel pain, that is how it is, poverty in your mind. You don't feel well, but find somebody who is earning well, you're going to find them like this, as if. So we need people we need to fight poverty, disease, and ignorance. So number 2 is about handout. One of the reasons we are having poverty in Uganda, we have a government, an NRM party, who believes that they're going to buy anybody at their will. They're going to give out handout. Handout, cash in hand, is a killer. You don't give out cash in hand. We got structures in place. We got the World Bank, we got the banks, we got mobile money, we have the checks. Why would harm come with 500 millions to the Prime Minister's office, as if they don't have a bank? Why do we have cash being carried out in sacks? As we stand for now, we can look at how our Uganda is going. On 12th of May, Ugandan government, they spent 7 billions from 7 to swear in. And of recent, we saw they spent 3 billion for people to go, 15 to 20 people to go to Dubai Expo. And then they end up giving 15 millions US dollars to fake investors, as I said yesterday. And now, as we stand for now, government of Uganda is going to give 7 billion to put up e-concert for these artists. Really, we don't have hospitals. We don't have ambulances. Minister of Health said they didn't have 9 billion to clear ambulances. And that time, Salim Saleh was giving 9 billions to the artists. Let me say something. I don't like to go personal. Artists, think again. Think twice. God gave you the gift. You have got the gift. People, they listen to you. Maybe you entertain them. Maybe you take their thoughts away. But when you turn against your country and you milk our country and you take the little money that we have and you justify it, you are making a big mistake. Because I'm telling you today, for 20 years, you are going to be in Uganda. When they give you a vehicle 4x4, you pollute the environment, but you drive it in the same roads. When you take your children to school, they go into poor school. Uganda shouldn't be that way. What do you stand for? What are your values? So people, this e-concert, I'm condemning this. The people, the organizers, those who robbed Museveni, who robbed the government, and Matia Kasaja, if you are going to release this money, you better not release it, because we have got hospital in need. We have got schools in need. Health workers are not being paid very well. Civil servants, they are not being paid very well. We need good roads. We need good housing. Put clean water in every ward. Our railway is suffering. We don't have transportation. You travel from Kampala to Sakaramese for 5 hours. Why don't we have a train that is going to move from there for 1.5 hours? Transportation. So, you people who are taking money, morally you are wrong, you are guilty. That is a problem. Why Uganda? We are as poor as that. The money which is being spent is on what? When you see NRM MP coming in the parliament crying for a regional hospital, when you see the budget before strategy, someone was also complaining, no hospitals, at least give me this. We are not beggars, we should not beg. These are the rights. Government, when politicians, when they elect you to deliver services. That is as simple as that. And without delivering services, we cannot fight corruption. That is as simple as that. You are leaving a loophole, you are leaving a big gap that you can't do. So when you talk about all these handouts, like Museveni is giving handout all the time. Handout. It's not going to work. It will never stop poverty. Museveni, the people you are giving money, they are the people coming back and back. Since I was born, I've seen Baby Cool getting money from me. We got these beggars. We got the parasites. Museveni, you call people parasites, but you are the leader of creating parasites. You are the leader of encouraging parasites. You are one of these people who instigated the parasites in Uganda, that you turn the people away from the truth, you buy them off from speaking the truth, and then you create that those are parasites because they are relying on our money. And I want to warn all these people who take our money. That is the taxpayers' money. It's not Museveni's money. It's bloody money. When you take this money, think about the poor hospitals. Think about the poor schools. But the overriding factor is poverty, is disease, is ignorance. That is why NUP plans to play a big role, to fight poverty, disease, and ignorance. Among us people, they fight. Sometimes it's because of poverty. People, they have made politics as a career because that is where they can earn money. It shouldn't be that way. NUP is going to create jobs. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about employment. So, number 3, NUP proposal manifesto. First of all, NUP has promised you they are going to fight. For us, we are not going to fight a red card. I hear so many people, they want to talk about red card, they want to talk about this. That is going to be there as Uganda it stands for now, I'm telling you. And imagine a lot is coming. A lot is coming. They're going to come. It's an open courtyard. The children, they can play there. They are going to come. A lot is going to come. But what we need is people to be empowered, is people to know. So NUP proposed in our manifesto what we call Quad A. These are the 4 A's. We proposed academics that people, they are going to have access. Go back to our 5 issues. Access to education, universal, accessible, which is affordable, which is universal, accessible, affordable, and therefore for what? Which you have to do in order to make it the same. So we have promised to have good education as our foundation, and we are going to put that one down. We're going to come back with a new educational curriculum. This one which is there is not fit for purpose. And then arts, we have got lots of people with talent. We're going to open a leeway for people that they go in school, but the school helps them as a career path, and then they can nurture their talent. People, they can understand, am I Kadonkamu? Am I a comedian? Am I what? So that people, when education people, I find it very unacceptable that people, they put down education. It's individuals who make education look bad, but education is not bad. Why do you admire people in Britain, in America, and developed countries? Why do you admire them? They stand on the principles of education. So artists, when you go to America, if you want to play football, you have to go in a university so that you know how to deal with your money. You know what the manager means. You know what the promoter means. You know what your income, you know how to pay your taxes. That is very, very important. If you don't know, you're going to declare bankruptcy if you don't know. So NUP will propose number 2, arts, that we're going to nurture the nature, we're going to nurture the talent, get people with the talent, get them in school, but get them in the arm of art, nurture them, tell them what music is, what songwriting is, what it needs, your presentation, your ethics, whatever. It's very important. And number 3, athletics. Sports is so important. When you look at Uganda, we've got so many people full of anger. I'm looking at this as a leeway for anger management. Let us put people in kickboxing, boxing, wrestling, make it legal, make it entertaining, so that people, they can spend their energy there, their anger on each other. And it's entertaining as well. Who doesn't watch wrestling? For some children, they watch it. They play it on Xbox. It brings revenue. Because once you start it, make it illegal, it's going to be good. But as we stand for Uganda, we got people who are corrupt. We should never have We don't have referees going to African Cup of Nations, World Cup, because in Uganda they don't know how to decide what is right, what is wrong. Emotions get into their way. Oh, I can't decide that Villa has conceded. No, you have to decide. You have to stand in the middle and decide what it is. But sports is a generating income. Look at Kenya. They've got so many people. They've got a connection with the island. That island, whoever in Kenya wins a medal, Nike gives them a certain amount of money and they plant a tree. What about if they come in Uganda? We have in Zikuru, we have Chiprotik, we have Halima, we have Gold Kamoga. Museveni promised them to give them 50, is it $500,000 per month, and they backed it. That has never happened. You can see footballers in Uganda, they perform very well. When Cranes goes to represent Uganda, if the country comes together, therefore there is no NRM, there is no UPDC, there is no NUP, there is no what. You become together. This is sometimes how you can fight corruption. This is how you can fight conflicts. This is what George Weah did in Liberia. He hung up his boots going in Liberia. Now he's the president. Didier Drogba. This is what he did in Cote d'Ivoire. He went and people, they put guns together. So when we are talking about these issues, they are issues political, indirect, but they are the foundation that you can put your foundation to fight the minds and the minds of people. That is how you can get into them. Your opinion, you bring them something. When you talk about sports, look at Kenya, how they are. They are popular, they are famous. Everybody knows about Kenya. Because you talk about Chipotogoi, you talk about so and so, they are what leaders, what record, you find them on Sky Demand. There is a documentary. That documentary is massive. But in Uganda, what do we have? We have Archiboa. We have what? We have these few coming. But what about if we had a government that is going to fund, is going to pump money into sports than giving money to Eddie Kenso, Kusasira, Baby Cool, Mayanja, Bajo, Balam, what? So we need to get there. And then we said number 4A is agriculture. Agriculture contributes to 70% of our economy. You ignore agriculture, Uganda will never develop. Economically, we will never have economic growth. NUP has proposed to bring back cooperative banks, to bring back good borrowing, to look after local businesses, to reimburse those who need, to give leeway taxes. We have to look at tax rebate, that people who work in agriculture, we give them a discount, that they bring in money they bring in products, you give them less taxes. This is how you can have economy. Economy is not by giving money out, giving people out, like what Museveni is doing. So agriculture is going to be our biggest contributor. And it is what we have to look into that. Fellow Ugandans, as we stand for today, Uganda has got problems. We got silent genocide. We got everything. But it is easier to manipulate somebody who is poor. It's easier to use somebody who is poor. Also, it is easier to use somebody who is ignorant, that doesn't have information, not because he's dumb, but he hasn't got access to information. It is easier to use somebody who is sick because the power is not there. Unless we address those issues, unless we look at those issues, we shall never get there. When we look at international community, if you don't talk about these issues, how you are going to address, tackle them, eradicate, reduce, they are not going to look at you, because for them, it is number one way to look at us. I'll give you an example. Bobby Wine is very, very popular around the world because he did fight for the ordinary and the poor person. When did he do it? When he said no to OTT and the whole world took notice of him. Go and look at Nelson Mandela. What did he do? He looked at education. to address poverty. Let us wait to what we see in Uganda. The government has abandoned to deal with the poverty. What they have done, they have left it into international hands. Now we have UNICEF, we have all these. Now you can hear Winnie Byanyima, what she's talking is rubbish. These are the people being put there. So government of Uganda doesn't know how to fight poverty. They don't know how to fight corruption. They have left it into international hands. It is international who comes to Uganda, UNICEF, to fight poverty. It is international who are coming on the ground to look at what is poor, that we need toilets. Should we need people to build the toilets for us coming from Europe, coming from America? These are simple things that NUP we are going to do in the right way. We have got environment officers, we have got environment students, qualified graduates who are going to help us and deal with this. But as it stands for now, people, they don't have even where to sleep. But Museveni relies on international to come and give us blankets. The government of NRM, they have failed to fight poverty. They have built for poverty. They have impoverished our community. They have made everybody poor so that they can be able to rule somebody. But to rule somebody who is poor sometimes is a problem. Now people, they are waking up. Is so difficult for NRA to contain people. It's so difficult that people, they are going to accept. Sometimes a poor person is totally different and difficult to manage. We have to deal with the poverty. We have to deal with people who are poor. We have to help them out of their poverty. But we are not going to help them out of handout. Museveni, message for you: the money you are giving to artists for e-concert is going down in the drain. 7 billion, take it to buy testing kit for COVID. 7 billion, give it for teachers, pay them salary very well. 7 billion, pay health workers very well. 7 billion, give us coaches coming to Masaka, to Rakai. 7 billion, build big, wide roads, not narrow. 7 billion, give us public service. That is what we want. We cannot accept this. So, fellow Ugandans, I thank you very much for listening to me. I start early. I like to start early. Tomorrow, I'm going to come back in about lunchtime, that time. And we've started our day. We see what it's going to give. But thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you very much for your comments. We shall fight poverty, disease, and ignorance. That is why for me, when I come up here, you don't find me going person. My idea, I need to fight. If I fight those three things, poverty, disease, and ignorance, it's going to be a war won on melt. Nothing can conquer that. So that is where we are for now. We need to direct our mindset, because other things are happening. But how are you going to stop people like these red cards? They are coming because they're opportunists. They don't know what to do. They are looking for money. People, they are using NUP to get money. People, they are fighting. NUP is the hottest cake now. People, we have seen people, they come in NUP because they just want money. They will use it as a shop window. You can see people, they come and start speaking like I am, and tomorrow they are doing something else. So you use NUP as a platform for you again, you are making a mistake. We are here for Uganda. We are going NUP. Go and read the manifesto. It's 47 pages. Google that. You can have it. I have it on my phone. We are going to fight poverty, disease, and ignorance. And I just mentioned some of the ways we are going to fight these three. And that is a good foundation where to start. NUP, we are not going to give cash handout. NUP, we are not going to bribe somebody. NUP, we stand for the truth, and we want to transform our country, and we want people to share our economic growth. We want to get people out of poverty a long time, not today like they say, create wealth. So, salute. People power, our power. NUP, everywhere. NUP, have a lovely day. Bless you so much.